Everyone, and nice to see you all in ActionIQ. Welcome to our presentation, Rocky Journey to Replace Legacy Automation. Every year, you hear the groundbreaking news about new technologies that promises to change the way how we automate testing of software. You might hear, read some articles about codeless testing, about artificial intelligence-powered automation. But how can you know that's time to replace what do you have right now with some new cool stuff? How can you join this race with what you have right now? Okay, what's the echo? Okay, let's fix. Oh, all set?
Yeah, one set.
Is it me? No? Okay, better? Yep, no? Okay, nice. So this talk is about how we can handle the case when we need to migrate the legacy automation, and we will share our experience in this journey. First of all, a few words about myself. My name is Tina. I'm the QA tech lead in ActionIQ. I've been with this company for 3 years right now, and I'm working on establishing and implementing testing strategies across different teams. And one of my latest projects was lead this migration, and I'm so excited to share my experience. And this project wasn't possible without my partner in automation crime, Kabir.
Thank you, Tina. Hello, everyone. My name is Kabir Faisal, and I joined ActionIQ about a year and a half ago or so. And I've been here and been working with migrating all the legacy Cypress test case, Selenium test cases into Cypress.
Time to introduce our company. A few words about ActionIQ. We're based in New York City. It's a big data company that focuses on marketing data and customer experience. We are democratizing this process, make it useful, and more important, we made it actionable for all users, even not technical users. We have many great companies that we're proud to call our customers. You can see the list of our customers, and many of these customers, enterprise organizations, they do the customer experience stuff in scale. You can see all these incredible numbers. So our platform is processing every day terabytes of data and supports numerous of inbound, outbound integrations. And believe me, testing ActionIQ platform is a tricky part. And today we will talk about our legacy automation solution that was developed a few years ago by a vendor Previce team. It was a functional end-to-end test from the user perspective. We ran this test only once at the end of the release cycle before we do production deployment. So once per week, it was UAT test. The test was written based on the customer specific use cases. It was hardly dependent on the customer data. Let's say we have 10 customers, we had this login test case, we ran this login test case 10 times for each customer. We had to create an audience test case. We ran this audience test case for 10 customers 10 times using the different customer data. From the technical perspective, it was, everybody know and love Selenium WebDriver. The project was written in Java and used Maven. Test engine was used to annotate selectors and methods, and we tried CI. We built Jenkins pipeline to run it every week. As I said, this project was written a while ago, 4 years ago, but this is not about how old your automation solution. The automation solution can be less than a couple of years, even 1 year. But as soon as the automation solution hinders your development process and business process, it can be considered as a legacy system and should be replaced. How did we realize that it was time for ActionIQ for this move? Outdated methodology. It was too late to get this feedback at the end of the development cycle. Once per week, to fix the issue, the cost of fixing issue was so high, sometimes even higher than actual development. Dependency on the customer data, any changes from the customer side could jeopardize and requires adjustment our test cases that took time. Even if we ran hundreds of test cases, the coverage was low. It was only critical use cases that we covered, and time to time we got production incidents that due to the missed defects. Plus, the execution time was from 2 hours to TBD because sometimes it took days. Jenkins pipeline was stuck in the middle, it's random failed test, so you had to run everything from scratch. The solution itself was not scalable. It was really hard to write new test cases due to dependency on the customer data plus complexity of the framework itself. And the test case independency was periodic, often violated. The selector itself hardly relied on CSS classes, and most of the time it was randomly. So the fail rate was around 40% due to broken selectors. It was 4 years ago, and maybe it was relevant 4 years ago in terms of traditional software development when we need to complete testing at the end of the cycle. However, in the modern software landscape, more and more companies are moving to a continuous delivery model when a software is under constant, often development and must be deployed frequently. And in this new model, we must make sure the quality at the stage. Actually, this new model, we would like to faster. We would like to get feedback more early and do this shift left. But with the legacy system, it wasn't possible to get us to this target. You see our target. So we wanted to focus on the defect prevention rather on defect detection. With everything that I just told you, and with our desired future goal to have this continuous delivery model, we had really strong case to replace our legacy automation system, not just try to renovate this one. So let's recap the journey. First of all, we define goals that we aim to achieve, and the requirements, how to address the pain points from legacy system and limitation of the legacy system. Shorter feedback loop, more reliable automation framework, and one of the things was goal as to empower our developers to start write tests. We wanted to make writing tests essential part of the development process and remove this bottleneck from the QA side. We developed a comprehensive plan, define the scope, set milestones and timelines, and try to keep our plan. Plus, we ran POC to find the perfect new automation tool. We conducted a research to identify potential automation testing tools. Then we found this one. We ran POC just to check that we actually met our requirements, and the winner was Cypress. The Cypress is more efficient tool compared to Selenium WebDriver from writing new test cases perspective. It's more user-friendly. It's support TypeScript and JavaScript. This language is closer to our developers' tech stack, and Cypress supports writing testing at the different level, component, integration, end-to-end test. We also allocated resources. We wanted to make it right, so we hired an expert in automation, actually, senior software development in test. The most critical and not trivial part, at least from my perspective, was do the test case conversion. We decided to do everything from scratch, remove dependency on the customer data, introduce the test-driven approach, and separated feature and system level test cases. We actually drove down the testing pyramid. The next, design and development the framework. Kabir will give you more insights. He's our expert in building a framework. Beside the framework, we also ran a pilot testing. We selected a small set of test cases, automated with a new solution, and to check that the efficiency, and got our first feedback. Are we moving in the right direction or no? The next one, we decided to keep running the old test case, the old test solution, and the new one in parallel, and getting our first feedback, and slightly increasingly switch from old solution to a new one, cutting and switching to a new test cases. We also dedicated a lot of time and effort in training and knowledge transfer. We wanted to spread this knowledge and educated our developers and other like people how to use this new solution effectively and how this new solution can be fit in the development process itself. And plus, we also, after the couple of weeks using the new solution, we collected the feedback to identify the future areas of improvements. And we keep monitoring this solution. We keep monitoring automation metrics. So as I promised, a couple of words about our cool framework that was built.
So the first challenge that we had is with interacting our tool with the elements that we had on our web page. So we introduced this thing called data test ID, and that allowed us to target specific element within a specific page and break every element and interact with those elements just like a user would. And then we introduced page object model by keeping every page separate, independent from each other. And that allowed us to understand the test flow as well as, debug any issues that we come across, and allowed us to target any specific test failures based on the pages that we're getting a bug from on the test script level or on the developer code level. And then we have marking data, and this was also introduced to, we created a lot of data, and this data was controlling our test results. So that way we're now randomly selecting any random data on the page and interacting with them, because that would probably never happen in real life. But if it does that, we also had considered that and added conditional statements around it. And then custom controls. We also start creating some custom control. This is something that we wasn't able to do previously, is handling data table, hidden elements, drag and drop, and also search auto suggestions boxes that we have across our application. And this is where all this came to play the most, is in the multi-environment support. Before, as Tina said, we were testing on the once a week or once it's released to stage environment, but now we're testing in every single stage as it's being developed.
Thank you, Kabir. So even with all preparation, all planning, it was still a gamble. Legacy test cases didn't directly align with the new automation approach and framework, so we decided to just kill them. We decided to take a new approach using the test data, and we focused on keeping the same coverage. So as we did everything from scratch, we decided we need to do it right. We hired a person, an expert, to get his expertise to build a new framework from scratch in the right way. Migration of the legacy system is always a time-consuming process that requires investment in terms of people, resources, time. So we decided do it step by step and keep focus. Set milestones, keep track of these milestones, keep running old and new automation at the same time, so we didn't jeopardize the quality of the system. Then piece by piece, we cut the old test cases in the old solution, added a new one. And we asked for help. We asked our developers to help us to update this test data ID that Kabir mentioned. This test data ID actually helped to make our framework and our test cases more stable. And out comes our results. The complex approach not just blindly migrated everything from the old framework to a new one, but actually changed the methodology, applied the best practices, reduced the time of execution of these automation test cases from hours, even days, to 20 minutes, depends what suits you would like to run, components test or the system integration test. Also, you don't need to wait like 1 week to get feedback. You can go and run this test cases, the solution on your branch before you actually merge it to master. Then one of the goals was keep the same coverage. We hit this goal and even increase the coverage for some of the features. Plus, a bonus from the new framework was a fancy reporting. You can see this screenshot. The next achievement was stable and isolated tests. So the failed rate dropped from 40% to 5%. And this test data ID is actually help us to avoid help us to make our test more stable, to avoid any impact for the future upgrades. You know, the rebranding, when you do the rebranding and then all the automation tests, they just failed. So we introduced this approach to help us avoid the same situation in the future. The new approach is more scalable. So after all this learning session, basically anybody can go and write these cases using the Cypress framework. And we are one step closer to our desired delivery model when we can run these test cases on the each PR before merging to master. So we're working on integrate this solution with GitHub Action. So this was our journey. We still have like 3 minutes. Couple of outcomes from our experience and our journey. What you need to look at to understand this is time. So look at this metrics. If you see that it's hard to scale your solution to add new test cases, if you spend most of the time trying to fix the existing test cases, if it's hard to integrate your automation solution with any other tools like CI/CD tools, test management tools, and the more important, if you cannot see that your existing current legacy solution fit in the future desired delivery model, maybe it's time to buy a new house. And speaking about buying a new house and replacing legacy automation solution, if you do it right, because you don't want to do it in the next few years, believe me. So some advice, define goals and requirements. What problems do you want to solve? What testing and automation, how testing and automation can help you in your delivery process. The automation software, it's a software that requires the same approach and methodology as any software. So treat it as a project, allocate time and resources to do this one. Also, automation solution, it's not just script, right? It's a whole domain with a lot of experts and the cool stuff. Read, learn about the cool stuff about automation, hire and find somebody, an expert in this. Do it right. The next one is draw the line between new and old solution. Start writing all new test cases in a new solution. So that's how you can get your feedback. Is it efficient way, much earlier? And then the modernized automation will lead you to more efficient dev process. You will get the faster feedback, you improve your coverage, you improve the reliability of your testing. Plus, you will spend less time and less money in maintenance and less buggy software, improve quality because you did it right during the testing phase, will lead to higher customer satisfaction, and they improve the development process itself, will reduce the maintenance burden. It will attract more IT talent. It will make you happy. So it's happier users and employee, because at the end, it's all about happiness and happy people. Thank you for your time. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Yes. We're still in this transaction model, right? But the point was that right now we don't need to wait until we do the testing on the stage level, right? Because we're running these test cases at the PR level, even at the development level. So if these test cases can find this issue, they will find it just right now in 5 minutes, right? You don't need to wait whole week to run these test cases. If these test cases have some gaps, so that's what you need to work on. Again, we're in transactional model right now. We're using bots. We're still running the Jenkins pipeline for a couple of testing types. And this solution was just from components, high level type of testing. We still have like more layers. We're slightly switching from Jenkins to GitHub Action. Yeah, thank you for the great question.